Welcome to this week's episode of the Solana Changelog. I'm Joe. I'm from Dev Relations at Solana Foundation, and I'm here with Jacob, and he's also from DevRel. And basically, today we're going to bring you some fresh changes. The first one being a shout out to SolPG, everybody's favorite IDE for onboarding to Solana, right? It's a web-based IDE for those of you who don't know about it, and there's new features being added right now and currently kind of a work in progress to support your JavaScript and TypeScript testing within the browser, right? So you don't have to just write your program and then move that locally. You can now do some of that stuff in browser, and there should be more support coming soon too. So that'll be really, really cool to see.
Yeah, totally looking forward to being able to test without ever leaving my browser. And onboarding new folks, it'll be a ton easier. Other news, there's also some proposals underway. They're not written yet, but you can actually check out some channels in Discord. So there is kind of like a peer-to-peer network project that's happening right now. So it sounds really cool from reading about it. So if you check out the Discord channel project private peer-to-peer network inside the Solana Tech Discord, you can find more information about it. Roughly, it's kind of like trying to remove some of the nodes from the network that like RPC nodes, they're non-voting nodes. They have either minimal stake or no stake, and they take up a lot of bandwidth on the network because of like propagation via turbine, gossip, etc. And it's not that great. So what they're trying to do is that like, hey, we can create like a private peer-to-peer network for things like RPC nodes or other things that are non-consensus nodes and then have a gateway from the main network to that private network to lessen the load on the overall network. So that's really cool. Definitely check that out. It's a discussion right now and will soon be a written proposal as a pull request on the Solana Labs repo.
That sounds like kind of a big deal. I mean, that sounds like a big change.
Yeah, it certainly is a big change. Like it's changing like, okay, where does Geyser go? Where can the different RPC nodes go? It kind of allows you to do some more fancy things too. Like, hey, if RPCs are completely separated, you can do some more cool stuff like putting an RPC on a database or something instead of having like a giant node doing all this work. So looking forward to it being separated.
Nice. So you could have like a database tracking your account changes and like some of that state stuff.
Yeah.
Interesting.
A lot like Geyser today, but it's instead of having to store it all in RAM, it goes straight to a database.
Nice. Awesome. So let's dive into the commits then that we saw. I personally saw quite a few changes for the upcoming version transactions and the lookup tables. So like there was a couple of tidying up commits, but most importantly, we've got some docs and an integration guide. So you actually can catch that stuff. There's going to be some information on how to use the new features. So that's pretty cool.
So I also saw that so they're working on the 2x transaction sizing, and they're trying to figure out, okay, how much should that cost on the network, economically. And so the way they're doing it is they're benching how much TPS a 2x transaction would take versus what is considered like a normal transaction today. So if like a 2x transaction, if they bench that and the network can do 20K TPS and the normal transactions could do 3 times that of 60K, then 2x should cost 3 times as a 1x transaction. That's what they're planning on benching. They've created all these tests to do it. Looking forward to seeing how that turns out. In other news, there's also a bunch of version changes on the cluster releases. So if you notice, there was like 10.x and 11.x, and now there's like a 13.x and a 14.x. It's kind of confusing. So what happened was mainnet was running 10.x and currently still is. And 11.x was supposed to be like, okay, quick default on, but it also had all this other stuff that was causing some performance issues. And in order to hurry up with the release of quick onto the network as default on, they made 13.x, or I think it's like 13.1 is quick default on with just quick. And then all that other stuff that was taking a little bit longer to like test, maintain, and update is now going to be in 14.x. So that is the general like version release schedule change.
Okay, that actually makes a little bit more sense now. Cool. So yeah, on to our resource of the week. I would imagine most of you guys have probably already seen it, but Backpack was released, so open source xNFT wallet. And if you go to the repo, there's going to be a link in the description, but you can see that there's some introductory video on there. There's some instructions on how to like clone it down and like install it and set it up. So some cool like self setup guides there, but yeah, long awaited release here, and it's fully open source. So that's, we love to see that kind of stuff.
Yeah, can't wait to try it myself and actually like build the xNFTs on top of it and see how it all works.
Yeah, same, totally. So that's really it, guys, for the Changelog today. I'm Joe, and this is Jacob, and we'll bring you guys some fresh changes next week. Thanks for coming.